Welcome to the Dump Truck Toolbox. I'm Alan. Today we're going to be going into the Dump Truck Toolbox Studio to talk about cameras and video editing tools. It's always a pleasure to start a conversation with you. Today we're going to go behind the scenes and look at how I make YouTube videos. First, we're going to look at cameras, and then we're going to look at video editing tools, both the hardware and the software that I use. So on days I film, I usually bring 4 cameras. That's a GoPro 10 with the media kit. I love it. It's the only camera that was actually purchased for this purpose, and it was actually a gift from my wife. It's pointing backwards right now. I've been doing some narrative for 3 or 4 videos I have planned. Next to it is a GoPro 8. That was a gift from one of my sons. Doesn't have quite as many features as the GoPro 10, but the image stabilization is great. The mic is worthless, but it does exactly what I want. Today it's facing forward because the 10's facing backwards. Normally I mount the 8 here so I can get a view of the tailgate. Because the 10 and the 8 both have a tendency to overheat, especially when they're on the dash, I have a USB-driven fan to provide a little bit of cooling ventilation. This is my 3rd camera. It's GoPro 4. It was also a gift from another one of my sons. It's aiming backwards. It gets a shot of the bed. It doesn't have quite the resolution capabilities. If I do 4K, it runs at 15 frames per second, which is usually not acceptable. But it takes great video. It also doesn't have image stabilization. That's why it's not pointing forward. But it does take very clear video, and it does what I want it to do. My final camera is my iPhone. And so I use it often for narration. I actually mount it up here under these little things. But it works well. It does good video. It does good audio, not quite as well as the GoPro 10 media kit, but usually acceptable, especially if I clean it up in post-production. So that's my YouTube video gear. When I started posting on YouTube about 2.5 years ago, I had an 8 or 10-year-old PC, and I was using the free Microsoft Clipchamp, I think it was, software. My old PC had a GPU, but it was no longer supported by Microsoft, and so it just sat there quietly, not doing anything inside the PC. I was doing pretty straightforward videos, not a lot of special effects or not even a lot of picture-in-picture stuff, but the processing time was getting punitive. So to process 10 minutes of video, the computer would take 40 to 60 minutes. And it was just, it'd be like, okay, let's do some editing. I'll start it going and I'm gonna go to bed and work on it again the next day. So about a year ago, I upgraded the hardware, got current technology, but not the fastest or the biggest of anything. Got a mid-level CPU and fast hard drives. I really like to have fast read-write access. And then I got a mid-grade Nvidia GPU chip, and that setup took me from a 4-to-1 ratio of 40 minutes processing time for 10 minutes of video to a 1-to-4 processing ratio that is 2.5 minutes of processing for 10 minutes of video. And so my life got a lot better. I was able to do many more drafts that I would render and look at and on the big screen or on my phone, and it made it a lot easier to fine-tune my editing. The other thing I did about a year ago was switch from the free Microsoft video editing software to DaVinci Resolve. The free version of DaVinci Resolve is a great tool. It's very flexible, offers a lot of features, but certain things that I would benefit from using were locked out. Image stabilization, automatic color grading, noise suppression around narrative, were all somewhat limited in the free version of DaVinci Resolve. And searching through a day's worth of videos captured on the truck was just getting very time consuming. And so this December, I decided to upgrade to the paid version of DaVinci Resolve and to get their speed editor. Like many people, when I started using DaVinci Resolve, I looked at the cut page and I used it a little bit, and I was like, I don't really see the point. And so I did all of my chopping up of the clips on the edit page, and then obviously did the rest of the editing on the edit page as well. When I purchased DaVinci Resolve Studio, the paid version, and the speed editor, I was waiting for it to arrive. There was a delay in the shipping. And so I started using the cut page, just using my keyboard, and started to see certain advantages to the cut page. It wasn't overwhelming, so I probably would have never left the edit page until I got the speed editor. And then especially the jog wheel makes it very easy to review a lot of footage quickly. I haven't mastered it by any stretch of the imagination. I usually spend 30 minutes or so reviewing footage and doing a rough cut, and then I switch to the edit page, and I'm really back to the keyboard most of the time. So I've got what I think is a pretty stable setup now. I like the views I get out of my cameras. I like the editing tools I have, and I like the overall technical quality of my videos. My big weakness is still color grading. I've dabbled in it some. I have a couple of friends. One's a professional photographer, the other is a professional video editor. And I keep talking to them about color grading, and it's like, I don't get it. Red, green, blue, I understand that, but I use the AI function on color grading, and the rest of it is a mystery to me. And when I play around with it, it's like, boy, that looks a lot worse than what the raw video looked like. So that's an area I'm going to continue to have to think about and dabble with, and maybe one day you will start seeing some real benefits from my newfound color grading skills. So I'd appreciate it as always if you'd subscribe, hit the notification button, and like this video. I'd also really appreciate comments. If you've been following the channel for a while, have you noticed a positive change in the quality of the video, the audio, or the editing? And if you do videos, YouTube or elsewhere, let me know what you use in terms of editing tools and cameras, and let's keep the conversation going. So appreciate you tuning in. This is Alan, and I look forward to seeing you again soon on the Dump Truck Toolbox.